Hey, Cowboys Nation! Welcome back to your ultimate update on everything happening with America's team. There is so much to unpack after the recent week of NFL action, and the playoff race is heating up faster than ever. The NFC picture is as chaotic as we've seen in years, with teams jostling for positioning, tie-breakers hanging in the balance, and a handful of franchises on the edge of falling out entirely. The Bears have managed to secure the number 1 seed thanks to tie-breakers, sitting just ahead of the Rams, who claim the 2nd seed, while the Seahawks are lurking down in the 5th spot. Meanwhile, the Eagles are holding on at 8-4, a spot that leaves them vulnerable if a collapse happens. And the Cowboys are trailing the Lions by just a half game at 7-5, a precarious position that underscores how vital the next stretch of games will be. The Panthers are right behind at 7-6, making every remaining matchup a critical battle. The difference between making the playoffs and missing out has narrowed to razor-thin margins, which is why every snap, every yard, and every play will count as the Cowboys push toward postseason contention. The wild card picture is just as intricate, with small shifts in standings capable of drastically altering odds right now. A full sweep of the remaining games positions the Cowboys with nearly a guaranteed playoff berth, but even a single misstep could require significant help from other results. The Bears, the Rams, and the Panthers all play roles in shaping how the path unfolds, and every result across these teams sends ripples through the standings, creating a scenario where focus and execution will be the difference between moving forward and watching from the sidelines. Looking closer at the scenarios, winning out remains the most straightforward path. If the Cowboys take every remaining game, their playoff probability skyrockets, and they would effectively control their own destiny. Still, the schedule is anything but easy, featuring critical road games and primetime matchups that could challenge even the most consistent teams. Thursday night football against the Lions represents a monumental hurdle, and the margin for error is minimal. Even a single slip could dramatically reduce the odds of clinching the postseason and push the team into a position where external factors and tie-breakers dictate survival. The remaining matchups against the Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants carry significant weight, particularly with 3 of these games occurring away from home, including the Christmas Day showdown. Performing at a high level in hostile environments is no small task. Yet the Cowboys' recent momentum after a season start that was far from ideal gives them a chance to seize control as the playoffs approach. With every victory, the margin for error grows smaller, and with each loss, the importance of other results multiplies exponentially, which is why fans need to track the ripple effects of every NFC and AFC matchup closely. It is a delicate balancing act, a puzzle of probability and performance, where the alignment of victories across multiple teams can either open doors or shut them entirely. This season, every game carries a narrative beyond the box score. Wins and losses ripple outward, influencing not just standings, but playoff positioning and potential matchups, which can dramatically impact the path forward. For instance, a loss against a team like the Lions could have monumental consequences, shifting the landscape and empowering competitors while simultaneously eroding the margin of control the Cowboys currently enjoy. Victories are essential, but the broader NFL ecosystem also plays a role, with tie-breakers, head-to-head results, and divisional performance acting as hidden forces that shape the postseason picture. The NFC East remains a hotbed of intrigue, with the Eagles, Cowboys, and other contenders poised to clash in a battle of wills and consistency in these final games. Each play has weight beyond just points on the board. It directly impacts playoff scenarios, influencing not only the immediate outcome, but the trajectory of the entire division and conference race. Fans are witnessing a high-stakes chess match where strategic execution, situational awareness, and pure athletic performance converge to determine who survives and who is left out. Every yard matters. Every defensive stand, every touchdown, and every turnover could be the difference between advancing or being eliminated, creating an intense pressure cooker that tests not only skill, but mental toughness and composure under fire. Looking at the numbers, the probability simulations show that a full win streak by the Cowboys nearly guarantees entry into the postseason. While even a single loss drastically reduces certainty, the exact percentage shifts depending on who wins across other critical matchups, making each week a complex dance of results and scenarios. The Lions, Packers, Bears, Niners, and Seahawks are all factors in this web, and their performances against various opponents contribute to a constantly shifting landscape. For example, a loss to Detroit could have outsized implications, propelling competitors forward while forcing the Cowboys to hope for cascading losses elsewhere. Conversely, victories against high-caliber opponents not only solidify standings, but also enhance confidence and momentum, which could be pivotal as they navigate the final stretch, week by week, game by game. The margin for error is disappearing, underscoring the importance of focus, preparation, and execution. Success will not come through luck alone. It requires consistency, precision, and an ability to rise to the occasion. In high-pressure situations, the Cowboys' path to the postseason is still alive, vibrant, and filled with opportunity, but it demands excellence every single week. And the upcoming games represent a true test of resilience, depth, and strategic mastery. Now, while we talk about wins and losses, it's impossible to ignore the broader NFL environment, where other teams' schedules, injuries, and momentum shifts all feed into the playoff picture. Teams like the Eagles, Chargers, Commanders, and even teams outside the NFC East have indirect effects on how the Cowboys can maneuver. When you look at the wild card race, the margin between first and seventh seed is almost non-existent, highlighting the competitiveness and unpredictability of the league. Each team's result sends ripples across the standings, creating cascading consequences for multiple franchises at once. The NFC South, in particular, adds another layer of complexity, where results between its teams can influence seedings and playoff access in ways that might not be obvious at first glance. Fans are essentially watching a dynamic system unfold in real time, where probabilities and outcomes are constantly in flux, creating a level of drama and excitement that only the NFL can provide. For Dallas, understanding these interconnections is crucial, because it determines not just if they make the playoffs, but under what conditions they advance and how favorable their seeding might be the week ahead. Presents a crucial turning point. Games against the Lions, Vikings, Chargers, and other playoff-eligible opponents will define the trajectory of America's team. While no matchup is guaranteed, every performance has the potential to alter standings and shift momentum across the conference. Beyond just winning, the Cowboys need to manage energy, injuries, and focus, balancing the grind of the season with the need to peak at the right moment. Primetime games, road trips, and high-pressure situations will test not only their physical skill but their mental fortitude. Fans are witnessing the unfolding of a season that could be defined by narrow margins and razor-thin T-breakers, a campaign where resilience, preparation, and consistency matter more than ever. Each game is a chapter in a larger story, and the next few weeks promise dramatic moments, stunning upsets, and unforgettable plays that will shape the legacy of this team and the playoff picture across the NFC. As we move deeper into the final stretch of the season, the intensity only ramps up. The Cowboys' remaining schedule is loaded with pivotal matchups that could define their playoff destiny, and every opponent brings its own set of challenges. The Lions, with their physicality and balanced defense, represent a hurdle that cannot be underestimated. A win in that game does more than just improve the record. It sends a statement to the rest of the league that Dallas is serious about postseason contention. Meanwhile, the Vikings and Chargers will test the team's ability to execute under pressure, especially in hostile environments and prime-time settings where distractions and the magnitude of the moment can affect performance. The Commanders, despite some inconsistencies this season, are always capable of surprises, and the Giants, though out of contention, can influence the playoff picture by their results against other NFC teams. Each game is not just a contest of talent, but a test of composure, strategy, and the ability to respond to the unpredictability of the NFL. And the Cowboys must bring their best every single week to stay in control of their fate. The division race adds another layer of complexity, with the Eagles sitting just ahead and capable of creating significant ripples, depending on their results. Their schedule features key clashes against the Raiders, Commanders, and other contenders, and any slip on their part could directly benefit Dallas. Yet, the Eagles remain a dangerous team. And even with the hope of a collapse, the Cowboys cannot rely solely on the missteps of others. They must combine their own execution with an awareness of what is happening across the league, anticipating results and positioning themselves to capitalize on every opportunity. This is what makes the final weeks of the season so thrilling for fans. The stakes are monumental, and the interplay between teams creates a narrative where every result can drastically alter the playoff map. The Cowboys are in a prime position to take advantage But they must navigate a gauntlet of challenges that test every aspect of the team's skill set. From quarterback decision-making to defensive alignment and situational awareness, momentum and timing are everything. The Cowboys' early season struggles have left little margin for error, meaning that a loss in any of these critical games could have outsized consequences. For example, dropping a single matchup against a team like Detroit or Minnesota could significantly reduce playoff probability, forcing reliance on favorable outcomes elsewhere. On the other hand, securing victories against these opponents not only improves the record, but also boosts confidence, solidifies position in tie-breakers, and increases the psychological edge heading into the postseason, week by week. The team's ability to respond to adversity, adjust to opponent strategies, and execute in high-pressure situations will determine whether they enter the playoffs as a formidable contender or watch from the sidelines. Fans are experiencing a tense, high-stakes stretch of football where every yard and every play carries weight far beyond the immediate scoreboard. Analyzing the NFC landscape, the top-seeded Bears, the Rams, and the Niners all have schedules that intersect with the Cowboys' path, creating opportunities and obstacles simultaneously. The Bears, despite holding the number 1 seed, have a challenging finish that could open doors if they stumble, while the Rams and Niners have the potential to assert dominance, limiting Dallas' margin for error. The Seahawks, already strong in the standings, add further unpredictability to the mix, and the Panthers, Bucks, and other wild-card contenders can influence outcomes with wins and losses in seemingly unrelated matchups. It is a highly interconnected system, where the fortunes of one team ripple through the league, affecting playoff probabilities and potential matchups for the Cowboys. Understanding these dynamics is crucial. Their path forward is not determined solely by their own performance, but also by the complex interplay of results across the conference. This makes strategy, preparation, and awareness indispensable as they approach the final stretch. Travel and scheduling factors are equally significant. Road games present the challenge of hostile environments, unfamiliar conditions, and the strain of travel, while prime-time appearances heighten visibility and pressure. Each matchup requires not just physical readiness but mental sharpness, the ability to manage emotions, and strategic adaptability. The Cowboys must approach every game with intensity and focus, knowing that the cumulative effect of these contests shapes the postseason picture. Even small lapses or mistakes can be magnified in high-stakes moments, so preparation and execution at every level, from coaching decisions to player performance, become paramount. The balance between managing fatigue, injuries, and the need to peak at the right moment is delicate, and how the team navigates these factors could very well define the trajectory of their season. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. Whispers are swirling around the Cowboys locker room as news breaks of an injury to one of their key players. Sources close to the team hint that the setback could have significant implications for the squad. Though official statements remain scarce, fans and analysts alike are speculating about the severity, with some insiders suggesting it might not be as minor as initially hoped. The Cowboys, who have been riding a wave of momentum, now face uncertainty that could reshape their strategies in the coming weeks. Speculation is rampant about who might step up in the absence of this pivotal figure. Rumors from various corners of the league suggest that the coaching staff is already evaluating options, considering everything from altering the game plan to giving more playing time to younger, less experienced athletes. Conversations among sports commentators hint at a scramble behind the scenes, with rival teams reportedly watching closely, sensing an opportunity to exploit the situation. The locker room atmosphere is said to be tense yet cautiously optimistic, with teammates rallying to support their injured colleague. Social media has exploded with reactions from fans, ranging from concern and disappointment to bold predictions about potential trades or lineup shakeups. Meanwhile, insiders warn that this development could impact not just the immediate next games, but also the broader dynamics of the season, especially if the injury lingers longer than expected. Though the exact details remain under wraps, speculation continues to dominate the narrative. Some believe this could be a turning point for the Cowboys, forcing a reevaluation of both offensive and defensive tactics. Others argue that adversity has historically brought out the best in this team, and that the injury, while unfortunate, might pave the way for a breakout performance from an unexpected star. Whatever the truth, the buzz is undeniable, and the sports world is watching closely, eager for any hint of updates or confirmations. For now, the only certainty is uncertainty. And the Cowboys camp is a hive of whispered theories and cautious optimism. Fans are holding their breath, analysts are debating endlessly, and the rumor mill shows no sign of slowing. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.